In this video, we're going to get our logout link working. When the user clicks on this link, we'll replace these two links with the login page link and the login modal link. As well, we need to set up a few side effects, like for example, the alert. And also we want to reroute the user back to the home page when they successfully log out. In this video, we're going to be creating a lot of code, and down at video 24, if you're interested in just copying and pasting, you can just click on this snippets link, and all the code I'm creating in this video you'll find at this link here. What we need to do first is create an action. I'll call this action logout. And when this action gets dispatched, we'll kick off a whole bunch of different effects like our alert effect, our rerouting the user effect, things like that. As well, we'll need to update our reducer when this action gets dispatched and null out the user. Let's first create this action. In Visual Studio Code, you can hit Control P and search auth actions and open that up. And I'll click on it to keep it open. Also, we'll need to do some changes in the reducer file. So hit Control P again, and we'll open up the reducer file. There it is. And I'll click on it to keep it open. And the first thing we'll do is we'll create our logout action. I'll use the snippet generator that I was using before. And I want to create an action. And the first one right there, that's the one I want to create. I'll call this our logout action, then hit tab. And where are we going to be dispatching this action from? It's going to be from the auth links component. So links component. And then the event is logout user. And that's all we need to do for our actions. We can save this. And then we jump over to the reducer now, and we'll add a new reducer, and it's very similar to this one. So I'm just going to copy this and add it on to the bottom. So copy and paste. And this is going to be logout. There it is. And then the difference here is I'm just going to set everything to null. And that's how you want your reducer to look like. Make sure you save this file. Now we're ready to dispatch our action. Hit Control P again and open up the auth links TS file. That's the one you're after. And in here, we're going to dispatch our action from within the logout. This whole section right here, I'll just comment all this out. And we'll be removing that pretty soon after we create our side effects. And then right here, we'll dispatch our action. And we already brought in our store right here, and we'll use that. So this store, and we're dispatching an action, and it's our logout action. And I'll bring that in from our actions file. And now we just dispatch the action. Before we start creating our effects, like for our alerts and things like that, let's test everything out, make sure everything's working at this stage. Make sure you save all your files. I already have the application running. We'll check this out in the browser. If we click on the logout link, we should dispatch the logout action. And if you click on this commit here, you can clear out all your actions. And now let's click on logout. And we just dispatched our logout action we just created. And if we look at our action and we make sure we select this, we didn't pass in any payload because we didn't pass any in when we created our action. And if we look at our current state, everything should be set to null inside of our auth feature. And if we look at the user, everything's set to null and the error is set to null as well. Okay, so all this is working great. Now let's set up our side effects, and we'll start with our alerts. When the user logs out, we'll give the user two messages. The first one will be this one right here, letting them know that they are logged out. And the second message would be letting them know to come back soon. And this has like a 2-second delay to it. Let's set them up within our alert effect file we already created. So if you hit Control P and then alert and the alert effect file, that's the one you want. And then right at the bottom, I'll add two more effects. I'll add that right towards the bottom here. I'll make some space. And I'll add the two pre-made effects. This one's called You Are Logged Out. And this one gives them a message that you are logged out. And I changed this from danger to warning. It's less threatening. And also the action that we're listening for is the logout action that we just created. And then here's the second effect. And it's listening to the exact same action. But the difference here is there's a 2-second delay. So this message comes after this one. Here we're calling the info and we're giving the user this message. And that's the two side effects we want for our alerts. Let's test this. We'll save this document. Let's click on our link again. and our side effect is kicking in, and with the delay, the second one kicked off too. So our side effects for the alert is working. Now we need to set up a side effect to reroute the user back to the home page when they log out. Let's set that up. The effect that we're going to be creating in this case is for this right here, to reroute the user to the home page. Let's open up our route effect file, hit Control P, and we're looking for the route effect. And we'll add one more effect here to navigate the user home. So I called it Go Home, and it's listening to the same action, our logout action. And when this gets dispatched, we reroute the user home. Again, we'll test it, make sure this is working. Let's save this. Now we should be rerouted to the home page when we click on the logout link. Okay, and that's working, and our alerts are still working. Now there's one more side effect we need to create. What we want to do is clear out our local storage. When the user logs in, if we go to Application, go to Local Storage, we store the user in the local storage when they log in. Well, we want to clear that out when they log out. So we'll create a side effect for that. And to do that, we'll need to create a brand new effect file. Let's do that next. Inside of the terminal, let's generate a new effect. And we're going to put this new effect inside of our global effects folder, and I'm going to call it app. Any effects that pertain to our global application, I'll just put the effects within this file. And also we're telling our main app module about it. Do we want it at the root level? Yes, this is going to be a global effect. API true, skip test true. Hit enter. And that generated as a file. We can close down the terminal now. Then hit Control P and search for app effect, and there it is. And in here we need to bring in our actions, and we don't need any services for now anyways, but we do need to bring in our actions, and I'll just add that here. Now we have access to all of our auth actions. The first effect we want to create is for clearing out our local storage, and I called it remove user from local storage. And the action we're listening for is the logout. Whenever that gets dispatched, we'll go into the local storage and we'll remove the user. Let's bring in our of type from NGRX and also our tap operator from RxJS. And that's the first effect, but now we need to set up an effect for adding the user to our local storage. And I'll add that right below here. And I called this one add user to local storage. The action that we're going to be listening for is the login success. And when this gets dispatched, we pass in the user, and we'll be able to get that from the action that's being passed into the tap operator. And then we'll set that in local storage. Now that we're adding our user to our local storage, we don't need to do this from within our service anymore. Let's open up our auth service, hit Control P, and I'm looking for our auth service. Auth service, there it is. And let's select that. And in here, we're setting the local storage right here. We can remove that now. We don't need that anymore. Now that our effects is handling that, we can save this file and then make sure we save our app effect. And also we'll go into the auth links and remove this commented out section now. We don't need that anymore. And go inside of the constructor, remove these services. And inside the imports, we'll remove this, clean this up as well. And now we're ready for testing. Make sure we save all of our documents, and let's check out the application in the browser. Now when we log in, our user should be set in the local storage by our side effect. Let's try it. Okay, and that's working. Our user is being added. Now let's try logging out and see if our side effect is removing the user from local storage. And that is working as well. In the next video, when the user refreshes the browser, we want to update our store if there's a user in local storage, and we'll set that up in the next video.